AGS Ultimage, brought to you by Essential Oils and Essences. Infuse your environment with their natural Reiki and crystal-infused Yogini Girl essential oil sprays to lift the energy of your space and body. Available in 4 unique scents: invigorating citrus and herb bliss, soothing floral calm, intoxicating and sensual love, and classic clearing. Try one today.
Hey Aquarians, this is Hal for AGS Ultimage, and this is your channeled message for the month of January 2016. Hey guys, for personal readings and messages, you can go to agsultimage.com, spelled just like the channel. They start at just $20 and go to a range of mini readings and longer ones. And they're from Skype sometimes, and some of them are through email. All the details are there. All right, okay, getting into your message. So, there are different levels to this, so I'm going to do my best to both give you the key points I need to, and also just talk through it and give you what you need out of the message. All right, so the first thing that I got this month is that somehow you feel wounded, okay, crippled in some way, as if somebody like sledged you in the knee and you can't like move very well. That's the energy that I got. So in some way you feel crippled or wounded, that it's like something's keeping you from moving forward with something. And that's the key thing. That it's the idea that something's keeping you from moving forward. All right, and that's really the key energy that I got from this particular part. Now there's a lot to this, okay? So I'm gonna try and give you all of it. Okay, so I got the idea that, you know, in this great, great world, universe, etc., we are a speck in a very, very large thing. So we need to remember to keep perspective on the fact that even though sometimes we think we're the most important thing and everything that we want is the most important thing, and, you know, everything that we feel is more important than what other people feel or what other people think, you know, sometimes we need to take a step back and go, oh, wait, you know, a lot of things are here. A lot of things are connected or disconnected, and we need to understand that. And I literally got also the idea of time was a really big thing this month for Aquarians, that, you know, you can't force time and you can't make time go to the rate that you please. And I know this sounds like a tough love thing, but it's really important to your own mobility and your own learning that you understand this message for this month, okay? Because here's the problem. Right now, I feel like the things that you want are somehow at odds with time. And I'm going to give you a few examples because this is getting really important because I felt this energy coming through. There are some people who hold grudges for a long time. And sometimes it's time to let go of the grudge and, you know, let go of the hostility. And that's sometimes what people are fighting in time. It's not always as obvious, and I'll give you the other examples, but this is the first example I want to give, is that if you're holding on to hostilities and resentments, and deep down, deep down, like you wouldn't want to admit it, it's like deep down, you know it's time to change it, but you just don't want to. Whether it's because of pride or because of ego, which I just call logical mind. Logical mind and ego are technically the same thing. It's like whatever distracts you from intuition and instinct and knowing, you know, your deeper feelings and understanding what your deeper feelings are and what they're worth. And then we let our pride get in the way and other things like that. Sometimes that drowns out what we might know deep down, which I would say through intuition, instinct, and ultimately this winds up becoming things like energy work and channeling. They're all connected. They're the same thing. They're just different levels. That this is, you know, something that deep down you might understand on a very deep level, and just your mind's getting in the way of understanding that time, you know, is already moving, really, and you're not moving with it, okay? So in this one example where it's like a much more unexpected example, if you're holding on to things like resentments or grudges and it's time to let go of them, you just, it seems like you don't want to let go of them. and that's what's keeping you from moving forward. Now, I'll give you the more obvious example because this is the more obvious example. I got the really unique one out first. Obvious example is you want that job promotion. You want to date that person who, you just met or something like that. And time is and circumstance just doesn't seem to be on your side. And it's like, why does everything happen to me? And why can't I move forward in life? And why can't I make more money? And why can't I have a family right now? Because that's another popular one that people think they can just, pop into thin air. Or why aren't I married yet? Why aren't I engaged yet? Things like that happen a lot with people in Ego Town and Logic Town. And at the end of the day, we can't make time go faster to suit our own devices. The truth is, the whole universe and the whole world is just this big, elaborate chessboard, this big, elaborate cuckoo clock that's perfectly timed, and everybody is moving into these spaces and touching each other's pieces and moving other people's pieces into these other directions, and other pieces just plop back onto the board, if you're considering the family thing. And it's very interconnected and it's very delicate, and people think that they can just like push it to suit their own devices and their own needs. And it's one thing that we can understand, that we can move our own chess piece. We can always do that, and that's allowed. But all these things that are, dependent on other people, and even dependent on us growing, because that's the other underestimation. When it comes to, I want a new job, I want to change my life or the direction of my life, I want to learn a new skill or create things and things like that. All of that requires time and energy. And in that situation, we control our piece. But at the end of the day, we can only move it so many spaces a day in so many directions. And again, in the situation where it's like relationships or family, we only have so much control over the other pieces, all right? So keep in mind that time is number one, perfect, and number two, time can only function in its own, in its own vacuum. We can't change it. We can't, manipulate it to suit our own circumstances. At the same time, sometimes you can't fight time when it comes to, gotta say this since I'm giving the other example, when it comes to needing to heal, when it comes to, needing to say, okay, I think I just need to release this pain or this frustration that's inside of me and move forward with my life, okay? Same exact energy, completely different scenarios, but they're all functioning this month for the Aquarians. All right, okay. Now, I want to just check these key points a little bit because I want to make sure I don't leave out too much here for you guys, even though I'm like pretty much hitting everything right now, but I want to make sure I don't leave out any other things here. Okay, got that. All right, yeah, okay, and this is the other thing I need to give you. When we're so deep in logic and ego town where we're like, okay, I just want what I want and screw everything else that's happening because, I have a plan and nothing's going to change that plan, and I have an idea about what's fair and what's not fair, and I'm just going to stick with it. Doing that when we know deep down something else is true, or or when we keep getting signals and signs and situations that show us that we're in the wrong direction, then we need to just like, be a little more open, okay? All right, so the idea is when we're so deep into this, like, stubbornness, I'll call it, but it's stubbornness about time. I want to keep giving that. Like, it's not even about, things that you could literally change or not change. It's like time is compelling you and compelling circumstances to help you get in the right direction or help you shift direction. And the shift just winds up being right because it's part of your time-space line, what I would call, because I believe intuition and instinct is just drawing future information into the present. So basically, in this month, it's like You're trying to fight the time-space line, and everybody else is like, this is where you're supposed to be, or it's like, this is like the information, and you're being triggered a lot, because that's the other thing I got for this month. You're going to be triggered a lot by people, and you're going to be getting signals from people and situations, and you're going to keep trying to go, oh, but no, like, I can't move in this direction. I can't move anywhere. I've decided that I'm going to stay in this particular state, and oh, I'm too hurt to move forward. I'm too hurt to feel optimistic about moving forward with other things. Or I feel so crippled by time and circumstance that I don't want to move forward with anything. All of these are excuses this month, and I have to say that, okay? Because change has to happen, okay? Change is a necessity of life and our circumstances. You know, plenty of people will go throughout their lives, oh, if this had never happened, then I would have never wound up here. And it's only in hindsight that usually people will give that credit. And it's better to remember in the present that in hindsight it's going to make sense. And that eventually you're going to look back and go, oh my God, if that had never happened, I would have never experienced A, B, and C things. I would have never, okay, if it's relationships, I would have never had this person in my life or these people in my life, or redirected in some way. If it's circumstantial, then it might be, oh, well, if I would have never had that disappointment, then I would have never been able to eventually find this particular, you know, mobility later down the line, or again, redirected in a place where I found what I really wanted. All right, now continuing, I literally got that when it comes to people trying to trigger you and trying to get involved, you're going to feel like they're just trying to complicate the situation, and they're just trying to get their hands in to mess up everything you're working towards, or like to try and make you change your mind and try and make you, you know, shift your direction when you don't want to, and you've got your like heels in the dirt and you're not going to move. And it's like, they're just, you know, whatever. Okay, I'm just going to say it. They're just being busybodies. People are just trying to tell me what to do. People are just trying to influence me and, you know, everything like that. And, you know, the problem is you're going to see them as trying to force you to change or try and force you to see things differently. And we're just so sure about it, us Aquarians, this month. We're so sure that we're going to keep it our way and, you know, maintain our own, you know, idea. And then, you know, assume that time's just going to bend for us and circumstances are just going to bend for us. And it's just going to change because we want it to. And because we're so determined. And I got, you know, that, you know, we're trying to push these people away this month and trying to make them, you know, stay in their own place. Because I feel like, you know, the truth is they're making you feel uncomfortable about, you know, what the deeper truth is to your circumstances. And I literally got, now we have to listen to them, okay? And the idea is we need to listen to, you know, the idea that there's more that we need to do or more that we need to shift in order to get into the right circumstances for the now. So that way we can prepare ourselves for the future, okay? All right, so that said, I will see you later.